and then let's see if it works.
Yeah, and I would also recommend if you're often seeing the system crashing or aborted, try downloading the older version of VirtualBox, one or two previous version. That might work. So because sometimes the newer versions might have something which might not be compatible with your processor and it can abort the process. So try with the older version, which is like tested, tried out versions and see if that works. So for Hira, you're still installing Windows Server 2019, right?
Yeah, it's still installing. It's taking a little time, but you can go ahead and I'll just follow along with the recording later on. But I can follow whatever you're teaching right now.
Okay. Apart from Hira, is there anyone else who still has not been able to install VirtualBox or Windows Server 2019 or 80? So I am assuming everyone has 80 installed.
Sumit, I think was there anybody else in the chat that was also having trouble? Abid Khan, is Abid here? He's not here, but
Yes, yes,
oh, you
I'm
are
here.
here.
I'm here. Yeah,
Okay.
I downloaded everything. I downloaded the Active Directory and everything, but it's just for some reason the Oracle just keeps on crashing, keeps aborting. I don't know if that's like I also deleted and reinstalled Oracle. I downloaded the server again. I did everything again, but it still keeps on randomly. It'll just abort on me. So I don't know what's going on. But I mean, I downloaded everything, and I'm up to date with the steps that we did yesterday.
Okay, so you can try some previous version of Oracle VirtualBox instead of the latest version and see if that is stable with your computer.
Okay, I'll try doing that.
So Sumit,
Sure.
is the idea to uninstall the current one and then install the old one, right?
Correct, yeah.
Sumit, have you ever observed any issues with the ISO getting corrupted during the download? Does that happen with the checksum things these days, or is that risky?
No,
Should they
if ISO is
re-download?
getting corrupted, then it will not proceed with installation. So if you have installed Windows Server 2019 successfully, then it's not an issue with ISO. It can be issue with a VirtualBox or some system compatibility because see these are virtualization, right? So they are running using your actual machine, actual processor. So there are some codes that getting compiled in the backend which partitions your own memory into multiple other memories, right? So sometimes this threading does not work and it may crash the computer system. So that's why it's always advisable to try some old version because that's already tested with multiple CPUs. So I can only advise you the steps to download previous version. Apart from that, if you still have the issues, the other alternate is to move to cloud and look for Azure or AWS as an alternate source to create a virtual machine.
So Sumit,
All
for
right.
those two folks that are having trouble, they can uninstall and reinstall, or maybe reinstall install the older version. If that doesn't solve it, then we can explore the AWS option. Um, so Hira and
Yeah,
Abid, would you please
then
let Sumit know in the chat whenever is it by tomorrow if it's resolved or not, so that way he can direct you on an alternate path.
Yeah, sure.
yeah.
Okay, I definitely will do that.
Sure. Anybody who is having issues, try with 2 version older. If you still have the issues, then we will move to cloud and we'll see. Like we have to use a virtual machine on cloud.
Thanks, Sumit.
The only issue which um, you might have with cloud is that you will need to sign up, and that requires a credit card.
Just for clarity, it's free for the first. You're talking about AWS, right, Sumit?
Both AWS and Azure, they both require credit card, right?
And are they free? I know AWS is free for a while. They don't charge until second year. What about Azure?
Azure will give you credit of $200 and you can use virtual machine. So that is enough for our course. But again, if you leave it running, if you do not shut down properly, you may overuse the credit. So you have to be a bit mindful. Same goes with AWS also. We only get 750 hours for free. So that includes all of the service combined. So please always diligently shut down the machine once you are done with the training and like when you're not practicing. Any question?
So Professor, do you want me to like reinstall the old Oracle right now, or should we just go ahead? I mean, everything is working for now, and then after the class, I would download the old version and continue with this version that I have right now.
So if it's working for you currently, we can continue with the session. If it's crashing very frequently, then definitely like you would have trouble following the sessions, right? So I can advise you to like uninstall and reinstall the older version. If you want like see if anybody is having issues, I can take a screenshot and I can try to troubleshoot the scenarios for you. That's what we can do for today as well. But if you can follow along, then I can continue with the topic which we started last time, which is Active Directory.
Okay, so I'll definitely try to follow along right now because I mean it hasn't crashed yet, and if it does, if it does continue crashing, then I'll see after class. I'll do it all over again with the recording.
Sure, sounds good. Yeah, and let me know, everyone. Otherwise, we'll see the alternate paths. All right. So apart from like having the virtual machine, either running locally or on a cloud, other everything will remain same. The way we installed AD is going to remain the same. There is no change in that, whether you're running on AWS, Azure, or locally, right? Because after you have installed Windows Server, it's the same Windows Server running on each of these platforms. So only the way how you create virtual machines and start the virtual machine is going to differ from platform to platform. But other than that, there shouldn't be any technical difference between what you will see today on my system versus what you can perform on any of these platforms. So we did install Active Directory. We went to add roles and features, and we added this role called ADDS, and it prompted us to install a few features like Active Directory, users and computer, and so on. And that was installed. Once we installed Active Directory services, we were also prompted to promote the server to a domain controller. And as per our discussion, the machine which hosts our domain is a domain controller, and a domain controller can have different roles. And the server which we are building up today is assuming all the roles because we only have one server hosting our domain. So this is going to be our primary domain controller. And we also created a domain, which was oktatraining.com for me. If you have created the same domain, then it will be oktatraining.com for you as well. If you have named it anything differently, then it will be the domain name which you provided on our last session. So now we are going to look into Active Directory itself, how we create users, groups in Active Directory, similar to what we have seen in Okta before. So the AD installation part was done. If somebody still has any question on what steps were taken or why certain steps were taken, I can answer the question before starting the topic on Active Directory. Here, like, I think you were not able to follow along with the practicals because you are not able to install Windows Server before, right? So you might still have the questions there, but I'll give you time to get Windows Server installed and go through the recording and see if you have any question yet.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't want to hold the class back, but if you think that you can do share screen and help me do it, then I'm ready to do it whenever you are.
Yeah, so is your Windows Server installed now?
No, I'm still in the middle of doing it. Do I have to press like upgrade install Windows or custom?
It will be custom.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, you can also share your screen and let's do an exercise.
okay.
So the people who have understood the steps, I'll observe, let them guide you so that I can also understand the steps if they have understood and if they remember correctly. Wherever they go wrong, I'll pitch in and I'll correct them.
Okay, sounds good.
Does it sound good?
Yeah.
All right, so here if you can share your screen.
Okay. So I don't know if you guys can see, but this is where I'm at right now. The virtual box itself is installed, but the Windows Server 2019 is being installed right now. I pressed custom. What do I do next?
Okay, so for this step, I'll help you. Can you click on the first drive, which is system record, or yeah, and if you click on delete at the bottom, yeah, okay. The reason I am asking you to delete this first drive is because I think you might have clicked on other options before, so it created a partition already. The partition will be created again once we have both the drive allocated. So can you maximize this window once? It's a bit smaller for me.
If you go to view up top and then go down to virtual screen and then select the auto scaled output.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks better. Again, now can you click on this drive 0 partition 1, which is the second drive, and if you click on delete again here. Okay. So now you have entire 50 GB available for Windows Server to get installed. So like how you saw the partition before, it will still be created, but this will be created afresh by the Windows Server. So from here, you can click on next, and then I'll let people to pitch in. So this is now trying to install the files from the ISO. ISO is nothing but it's like a image of the CD drives. Earlier we used to have CD drives, right? Where you can insert a disk and the disk used to have files. So similarly, what we can do is we can create a virtual drive like that. That is called an ISO. It's like an image of this entire content of a disk, and we are using that disk to install Windows on the virtual machine. So it has copied the file. Now it is starting installing those files on the virtual space we created using Oracle VirtualBox, and then we'll have Windows Server ready for our use. So this will take a little bit of time.
I'm sorry, I don't know why it's taking so long.
No, this is the usual time it takes.
Okay.
And it will also do a restart after the installation is completed.
Abid, while Hira is going through this, are you able to do the same? Is your computer in the same state?
I mean, mine didn't crash yet, so I didn't install the old one yet. I'm still using the same one that the latest version. So it hasn't aborted yet, and I'm just waiting to see if it aborts again.
Hey Sumit, I had a question. On my virtual box, on the Windows server, on the a message keeps popping up that I need to do some updates, install some updates. I should disregard those, correct?
You can, if you would like, you can also upgrade, but see, in this case of VirtualBox, I prefer to be a bit of outdated because that gives us a bit of stability. Any new features might not work well.
I see. Okay, thank you.
And you might also be seeing certain updates regarding additional features of VirtualBox, like uh, scaling the windows to the size and having a virtual disk and drives so that you can use your computer folders and you can view those folders in your virtual box itself, which we do not want for now. So I think we are good not upgrading it.
Thank you.
While this is installing, one important thing, once if you download the older version of VirtualBox, you'll see one or two steps being changed, but those steps were performed by me on my VirtualBox because I'm still using the old one. So if you go through the recording on the steps which I performed on my computer, you shouldn't have any issues following the old versions.
Should I sign in with my old stuff if it gives me the option to?
It will, it's a fresh installation, so you will need to set up a new password for your account.
Okay. Sorry, I feel really bad for holding the class back.
No, actually, you are not. So this is a good review session, and we can also perform a knowledge check. So I was usually planning for a quiz or a test kind of thing, which is like a surprise, and during the Friday. But yeah, let's have a knowledge check in between so we can see how we are progressing.
Should I just wait? I don't know why it's so black for so long.
Yeah, let's wait.
I had a question.
Yeah, sure.
I have an 8 GB RAM, and yesterday, for the memory, I selected whatever you mentioned in class. Will that be an issue? I don't remember the amount you
Uh,
mentioned.
so you selected 4096 or 2048?
I think 4096.
Yeah, actually, this is not an issue. It depends upon your base memory. So I think your computer had 16 GB of memory, so that is fine. So you're still only sharing 25% of your memory.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem. This is taking too long. Can you just click somewhere on the virtual box? Let's see if it responds.
Yeah, I tried. I don't know.
Scale it down once.
Like minimize it. This one.
No, like if you click on view,
Oh.
just bring unscaled output. So see.
Oh, stop it. You know, on my other homework, I think I can color too.
No.
Me? No, yeah, I do have to color.
I would advise one step, which is not good, but still we can perform, is like, can you close this window? And it will ask you to save the state. You just like power off and then just restart the virtual machine one. Yeah, power off the machine and okay.
And then start again.
Then yeah. So it has already installed the file, so it will start with configuration of that file, I think.
So start from here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a police. Oh, and the pirate isn't a security helper. Huh? Pirates are not security helpers. Oh. Well, when I'm watching something that I
Okay,
K-R-K-C.
do I do yes or no?
You know, Kissy Missy is about.
You can do no.
You know, Kissy Missy is the scariest one. Yeah, because
All right, so from here, who can guide Hira in configuring Active Directory?
the scariest. Add one toy.
We will add roles and features.
Kissy Missy when I watched it. What's that? Oh, that's a. Tell me. What you say? What's that? Okay, that was it. Dr. Skin? Then Huggy Wuggy. Such a chill dog. The dog.
Oh my.
The dog. Sorry. Boing.
Okay, is it supposed to be like this?
Good. And dog. Yes. Red.
Try do it again.
Yeah, try again.
When is that a story you're making?
Next, right?
Yes. No,
Yep.
the real thing that you watch. The thing that you watch.
Okay,
Mom,
role based.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
Next.
next. Okay. I think there was something here.
Active Directory domain services. The second one.
The add feature. Should I unclick this one?
No, you
No,
leave.
no, leave it.
Leave it. Okay. Anything else changing here?
Just click next.
Yeah, it keeps doing this.
Okay, so it says with some memory, it says IRQL not less or equal. Let me have a check with this code.
And they were all trapped and safe.
Yeah, it's a memory thing.
They went crazy in their car. The end.
Do you have any antivirus on your computer, Hera?
Just
Not on the computer, no.
it was all about how bloody lucky and killing them. And kissing missing? No, not kissing missing.
Should I have it installed?
No, I was looking at what could be the possible causes for that error, and it says device driver, memory, antivirus software.
don't have anything. Whatever Lenovo this laptop came with. Nothing else.
Started to be alive.
Is that this conflict occurs in the RAM and may be caused by a driver trying to access or write to a read-only RAM allocation or a location
Yeah,
that
so
was
it's
not
also
allowed to any device.
so there might be a possible driver that needs to be updated essentially on that laptop. That's what I'm seeing in front of me as well. A different article. I think it could be a driver that needs to be updated.
How would I know which driver needs to be updated?
You can perform Windows updates, the general Windows updates. If there are any pending updates that might fix this, or we can try using the.
I had a question coming. This is happening in the virtual machine, not the laptop, right? So maybe when she starts it, you know how she got those two errors? One of them was the services, but then there was another server error. Would it be like a driver in the in the virtual machine that needs to be updated, or in the Windows server? Or is it a driver on her laptop?
So with the error code, which is this is, it says there are certain memory areas which is not accessible, and it can be due to less memory or the access right. So the memory of the computer is the main computer, right? So it can be virtual machine, which is Oracle VirtualBox, is missing those permission, or it may be that the computer just stops providing the resources to VirtualBox, like the RAM or processor, and that's why it crashes. So we can try two things. One, first thing is check if there is any Windows update, and if there is any, let's do that. Otherwise, we can uninstall this version of VirtualBox, go for the old version of VirtualBox, and as well as let's download Windows Server 2012 instead of 2019. Functionality will be most or likely same. There will be no interface change, and so that will use less resources on your machine as well.
Okay, so to check my updates on Windows, I would just have to check right here and it doesn't have any updates, right?
You can type Windows updates here in the search box. That will take you to the update page. I don't think you have any update, but yeah, just have a check.
Yeah.
This is me.
So you have a version update.
I guess it says you're up to date, but it also says this.
Yeah, so you have a version update, not so the version which you are for Windows 11, you don't have an update for that, but you have a next version available for Windows 11 for you, so you can download and try that.
Okay. Should I do it now?
How
Or
about Abid, who was also getting the aborted? Were you also seeing the same kind of error, this blue screen?
No, sir. I just get my whole Oracle VirtualBox would just abort. Like the whole system would just abort. And the
Yeah,
VirtualBox would shut down.
that was the same thing for me first, and then after I re-downloaded and reinstalled everything, now this is happening.
Okay. So for you, Hira, let's try the older version of VirtualBox. So you can uninstall this version of VirtualBox and download a bit older. And also let's try with Windows 2012 instead of 19. Feature-wise, it's still the same, and it should work with less resource on the system.
Should I remove this first?
Yeah, you can remove this, and you can also uninstall this VirtualBox and then download and install the newer the other VirtualBox with older version.
Okay, all right. So you're saying do the 2000 and the virtual. Which one is the older one?
So I think the older one is 6 point. Let me check which version I. I have 6.1, so you can try doing that because that's 100% stable.
Okay. Should I like search for it from
Yeah,
my?
you can just search for download Oracle VirtualBox and then you will have an option of selecting a version. So if you search for download Oracle VirtualBox here,
Oh, spelled it wrong. Okay. This one, the first one? No, this one? Or this one? Yes. Okay. And then
you can 1 minute. Can you scroll up? Yeah, this is for 7.0.2. Can you go back to the previous page once?
No, one of my teeth are very sensitive.
Do you see this option called download VirtualBox old builds? Within the first URL, you have mini URLs, right?
oh, this right here. Yes.
Okay, if you click on that.
I told you mine. And all of them were so sharp. See at the end?
Oh.
Yeah, you can go for 6.1.
Okay, from here, the Windows host. Submit. Sumit, are you still there? Sumit, are you? Does
No,
anyone else?
it doesn't. It looks like he left the meeting accidentally. He's not in the meeting. I don't see him in the meeting.
Okay, does anyone else know if I should? Which one I
But
should?
go ahead. Go ahead and click Windows Host. See what happens.
Yeah, I don't hear him, but I see him. He's still in the meeting. But yeah, I mean, you have a Windows machine, you're definitely going to be clicking on Windows Host.
Yeah.
Irfan, I wanted to ask you, if she has a newer version installed, would it be a problem trying to install the older version?
That's just the installer package, right? You deleted the older version from your programs?
Wait, no,
I don't
didn't.
know. I don't think she uninstalled it.
No, I
Yeah.
don't think she did it either.
I didn't.
You can keep the installer package, but I would remove that. That's just going to remove the icon. What you need to
No.
do, go to the control panel. So in search, just look for control panel.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then you have to go to
Sorry, I'm just back.
apps.
Did anyone have any questions?
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to download the VirtualBox, trying to see which version to download, but I have to uninstall the old one first.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, now I should install. I already installed that one, right? This right.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Now. Should I do any of these? No, right? Do I need to click on register?
Yeah, that will be there. The first and last option are fine. You can leave other.
Okay. Add. Okay, it's again, it's not showing me that.
And you can also download Windows Server 2012. I have given you the link from where you can download the server.
You sent a link, okay.
Yeah,
Where
in the chat.
Oh, in the chat, okay. I don't know where the chat is in this right now. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, for some reason chats just doesn't open.
You can also just search.
I can email it to you if you need. Do you have Outlook or Gmail or?
Or the email for?
I can email her the link if she can't find it in the chat.
Okay.
Oh, I think she got.
Yeah, she's joining well.
Okay, sorry about that. I don't know where the chat is. It's not.
I can email you the link if that's easier for you.
Yes, yes, please. And I should stick with 64-bit, right? The ISO download 64-bit.
Yeah, so there will be 64-bit as option.
Okay. Now go back to VirtualBox. Add. Still not showing.
No, you'd have to make a new one, not add.
Oh, okay. So click on new. Right. Okay. So I'll do the training again. And then that stays the same. Should I move the memory size up?
Move it to 2048.
Sorry, which one?
2048.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do I need to do any of these?
No, that is fine. We are going to create a virtual hard disk. You can increase it to 50 GB, 50. And you can change it to VHD, virtual hard disk. Create. And now you can click on start. And you can click on that folder icon. Click on add. Select the location where you downloaded the Windows 2012. Okay, and you can click on open. Choose, click on choose. And start. Yeah, you can go for the second one. Do a custom. You can click on next. Let it install. It will take time to install again, similar to last time.
Okay.
Sir, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have to take a class at 7, so would I be able to leave?
Sure, no problem.
Thank you very much.
Sir, so I also wanted to ask, so what I ended up doing is I made another virtual box, like another Okta. I kind of re-downloaded it again, and I installed the Active Directory again. But for some reason, while I was waiting while you guys were doing it, it aborted itself for the first time right now, just while on standby. So should I go ahead and also just go ahead and install the 6.1 version, or do you think it's a different reason why my virtual machine is just crashing?
See, basically it will abort the process when like the memory is like overflowing like let's say that your entire CPU is being used, so there is no memory allocated with the virtual box. That's the reason I can think of. So yeah, I would advise to go for the older version and try that and see if it still happens to you, or if that fixes the issue.
Okay. All right.
I see it is already installed, so you can click on close.
What should I do next?
So you can click on that flag icon where you see that yellow exclamation mark at top right.
Oh, right here. Close.
Yeah, you
Right.
see that yellow flag, yeah. And you can click on that and you can click on promote this server to a domain controller. You can select the third option, which is add a new forest and specify your domain name. For our case, it was oktatraining.com. If you want to use any other name, you can use that as well.
Is this the password that I just put in, or this is a new one? Okay, do I need to do anything else here?
I think you can just hit next.
Okay, then what is this thing on the top?
Delegation. I think you can just ignore it.
Just go next.
Hit next.
Sure.
Your net BIOS name would be like Okta Training.
Okay.
Yep.
I will need to drop for now. So are you guys good in like guiding her through the steps?
Yeah, I think we should be. I think all she has to do is click next for now, right? She's
Yeah.
much done.
And then lastly, you will need to install and it will reboot your server once and you should be good.
Yeah, then it should show up with the domain name on the starting page as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Sumit, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Vera. Thank you everyone for helping.
Yeah, thank you so much for helping.
See what accident.
I'll drop for now. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay, good night.
Yeah,
Bye.
same to you guys.
Did it take this long for you guys too?
Yeah, it took a bit.
Okay, this is fine, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Now what?
You already installed the Active Directory, right, Hira? Yeah, I think you did because it shows ADDS, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Click right there.
Where this? That's right.
Yep.
Sorry,
go
can
back.
you give me a second? Okay, I'm so sorry about that. Okay, what should I do now?
Just go back to dashboard real quick. Up top, go over to tools. Go down to Active Directory users and computers. I think you should be good to go. That's about as far as we've gotten.
Yeah, it shows Okta training domain as an Active Directory user or computer, so I think we're good.
Yeah. If you go to that left panel where it says yep, click on the oktatraining.com, that arrow, and double click on users. Yeah. This is about as far as we've gotten.
Yeah.
So this is like Windows Server Active Directory. It's kind of like Okta's Active Directory or Universal Directory. If you just move your mouse over to the white area and right click, go over down to new, and then you see right here, this is how you can create users. And so basically like Okta Training is your domain and you can control a lot of stuff like through ADDS. Like you can create your users, groups, manage them, and then you can see your attributes too. Like create a user real quick. So if you go down to user and just create. And then for the logon name, what I would do, like generally how we do it at my company is we do like first name dot last name. And I wouldn't do, like, you see that option where it says user must change it next logon, uncheck that. And then select the option where it says password never expires, just for now. Generally, you don't do this. We usually we use that option and let the user select it. We'll just give them a temporary password. Wait, password.
I need to bigger, longer.
And then hit finish. Oh, wait, what did it say?
Still,
Minimum?
password requirement needs to be better. Okay. All right.
All right, so now double or right click, go down to properties. And so this is how you can like set different attributes for the user. If you, let me see, you don't see the option for object. There's a way you can see like attributes, like detailed attributes. And there's an option for attribute editor, but we usually get to it through a tab called the object. X out of here. Double click on the user, Bobby Smith. No, double click, not right click. I don't know why you don't see the attribute editor option, but if you go to member of, that member of tab, this is like where you would see like if your user had any groups or you wanted to add them to any groups, this is how you can add them to groups. Like if you had groups in your domain. But it works like very similar to like, it does the stuff that Okta, the Okta directory does, but a lot more.
Would this work just for Okta, or would it work for like different companies or?
Well, a lot of companies use this because it comes like with the Windows server.
Sorry, Irfan. I didn't
Go
mean to cut you off. No, I think so. I think like the point of Okta is like they take like things like Active Directory, which have been in place in so many companies for so long, and then you use an Okta agent to take all the contacts, like the entire like address book you have in Active Directory, which is what you're doing now, and you import them to Okta. And that is kind of like what you're learning. So like once you bring these users to Okta, like what to do with them, and once you get more into the training, like how to assign apps. And I mean, now like some companies are making Okta users, and then some of them like still create them in AD and transfer them over to Okta.
I see. Cool. So Okta is a completely like different platform. So we're going to be able to take all the information here and put it into Okta.
Right. Yes, exactly. And I think like that's really just the point of doing this, like downloading it, so that way you can create users and groups, and then you'll transfer them to Okta, and then like I think you're gonna mess around with seeing different AD sourced users versus Okta sourced users. Yeah,
Wait.
I mean, when I was doing this install, like it was pretty frustrating too, and like I'm glad you figured it out with the virtual box. I didn't even do it with the virtual box. I gave up and I did it with AWS. So I mean, just keep going. I mean, don't feel discouraged. I know it took a long while, but myself, like I gave up, so I did it on AWS, and it worked for me. But I'm glad you guys got it figured out.
Yeah, I just felt bad that the class basically paused for today because of this.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if not everyone's prepared, then there's like no point in doing the exercise because it is like pretty important. So I wouldn't feel bad. Like, I'm just glad that you got caught up. And I know, like, I was messaging some other guys, and like they were catching up as well. So I don't think you did anything wrong.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you, Irfan, for helping me as well. If we're caught up, then should I just X everything out?
No, power off your server. You remember you said you don't want to leave it running?
Yeah, so over here, should I X this thing out?
Yeah, you can exit out of Active Directory.
And then the power off would be right here.
Yep.
And then shut down, right?
Yep. All right, I'm gonna drop off. Salam alaikum, guys.
Less than an hour.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
See you tomorrow.